Good. Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the 7th and final seminar of the Fall 2020 series. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kyle Sherbach. I'm a grad student in science. I am the grad student representative on the seminar committee, so I'm a co-organizer for the series along with Kelly Wells and Vasudha Sharma. Today, I have the honor of introducing our grad student speakers. Andrea Elvira Flores, Madeline Vogel, and Azucena Sierra Garcia. Andrea is a PhD student advised by Vasudha Sharma and Yushin Mao. Azucena is a master's student advised by Kang Su and Julie Grossman. And Madeline is a master's student advised by Anna Cates and Vasudha Sharma. So with that, I will hand it over to Madeline.
Hello, everyone. My name is Madeline Vogel. For those of you who do not know me, I'm a first year land and atmospheric science grad student here at the University of Minnesota, who is passionate about furthering the knowledge on soils and soil health. This evening, I am here to share with you about the Show Me the Data, Empowering Conservation Champions with Real-Time Soil Management project. And I'm also here to enlighten you on the soil health principles as they connect to my project.
You can move that chair out, it's in your way.
Before I dive in to inform you about my project, it is first important to reveal the bigger problem it seeks to address. As we all know, global climate change is not going away anytime soon. With respect to climate change, rising temperatures pose the biggest threat. As they rise sea level, melt on land and oversea ice caps, and produce more powerful hurricanes and tropical storms. In the Midwest, rising temperatures are projected to increase the frequency, intensity, and duration of rain events. For every 1 degree Celsius temperature increase, the atmosphere can hold 7% more water vapor in the atmosphere. Under the right conditions, the extra water vapor is available to create additional rain events and creates an environment that is conducive to heavy rain events. Furthermore, frequent heavy rain events have a negative impact on agricultural landscapes as they can wash away the top 6 inches of the soil and they can delay the planting season. With global temperatures on the rise, it has become increasingly important to understand how soil health management can be used to enrich the health and resiliency of soils. Before I move on to explain the design of my project, I would like to take a step back and explain what soil health management systems are and the role the soil health principles play in the project. You might be wondering, what is soil health? What are soil health management systems? According to the USDA and NRCS, soil health management systems are farming practices which strive to increase the overall health of soils. Soil health management systems are beneficial in that they sequester more carbon in comparison to conventional systems. They increase water infiltration and improve pollinator habitats while maintaining yields. So I'd like to talk a little bit about the 5 soil health principles and how they relate. I'm sorry, my slide might be a little bit confusing with all of the numbers on here. So the number correlates with the principle that I'll be speaking about. And this is just the page, the slide number. So just so it doesn't confuse you, I know sometimes, it confuses me a bit. The first soil health principle is minimizing soil disturbance. I had a very hard time finding an image to represent this, so I decided to go kind of opposite. This is a mold-board plow. It causes maximum disturbance to the soil. Mold-board plows have discs that go very deep into the ground, and deep discs turn up the soil. So therefore you are, with your soils, you're disturbing and disrupting like all of the soil microbes in the soil, so that's not good. You want to keep those communities in your soil, and if you continue to like turn it up and disrupting them. And also think of it as the soil is the home for microbes. How would you feel if somebody had heavy machinery go right over your house? That wouldn't be very pleasant. Farmers who follow this first principle most likely have implemented no-till or minimum till practices into their management. The second principle is maximize soil cover. Soil cover conserves moisture, helps to regulate soil temperature, and intercepts raindrops which have the potential to wash away the top 6 inches of the soil and like move it away from its original location. It also suppresses weed growth. The third principle is maximize plant diversity. Farmers who utilize this principle most likely rotate crops within a given field. Maybe they have even integrated or implemented like clearing strips in the middle of their rows. So it's beneficial to grow more than one plant in an area. So it provides habitat both on top of the ground and also underneath the ground. Not all microbes prefer the same plant or have the same food source. The fourth principle is maximizing roots. Farmers who incorporate this principle into the practice most likely plant cover crops on the field and have roots in the ground year-round, including the winter seasons. Growing long-season crops or cover crops ensures that soil microbes will have a food source all year long. Plant roots provide a buffet for microbes, and in return, the microbes provide nutrients and compounds to plants. The fifth and final principle is integrating livestock. Livestock is beneficial to the landscape as it can spread manure over a wider area, and the manure can act as a natural fertilizer to the fields. Okay, now we get into the goals of my project. The 3 main objectives of this research are to demonstrate how soil health management systems and soil health principles influence infiltration, water holding capacity, leaching potential, aggregate stability, and other dynamic soil properties that are critical to the resilience of soils. My second goal is to equip farmers with real-time management assessment technology. So each of the farmers in my project received a fancy soil sensor, and these sensors, they go into the ground and they track soil. They take soil moisture measurements at 6 feet, 12 feet. It goes all the way down 40 inches. Sorry, I meant inches into the ground. And it just tracks the moisture that goes through. And my third goal is to empower farmers to talk about their management practices with one another. So I hope that these sensors will help them make better decision processes. And I hope that they'll have a conversation with one another. So this is a map of all the farmers participating. We have 18 in Minnesota and 12 in Wisconsin. For this study, each of the farms, so we have 15 of the farms are soil health management. 15 of the farms have implemented 3 of the 5 soil health principles that we just talked about, and each of them are paired with a conventional farm. And each pair is located located relatively close to each other and on top of and on top of soils that are similar, so you can compare them and get accurate data. So as far as my project works, I work with Sand County Foundation and Farmers Edge. In the springtime, right after planting, Farmers Edge puts the sensors into the field. The sensors remain in the field all the way up until harvest. At harvest time, the farmers contact Farmers Edge and the sensors are removed. This way they don't get destroyed in the harvesting process. After the sensors are removed, we have a soil collection team that goes out to the field, and my favorite part personally is collecting all of the samples. We visit all 30 farms, and at each site we do three composites. We collect 3 composite samples, and this is 6 subsamples. 3 of the samples are bulk samples, and 3 of them are PLFA. The PLFA samples are immediately placed on ice packs to keep them cool, and you need for this test fresh samples. So as I am shipping them to a lab to be tested, I want to make sure they have the right conditions. In addition to collecting samples or soil samples, we also do a residue test. 3 residue tests per site, and that's when you have a 100-foot measuring tape and you walk along it and you see how much ground coverage. And you do that twice, so you do it once in the fall and then once in the spring, in the springtime. So the next steps for these farmers include analyzing the data off of the sensors. I'm still waiting to hear back from Missouri labs with the results. So my winter break probably will be spent looking at those and analyzing them. And in addition, I'm hoping to perform infiltration tests using a double ring spectrometer in the summer. And I also hope to update this presentation with conclusions and share with you all the results of the project. In the long term, I'm looking forward to writing a memorable thesis and enhancing my speaking skills. And that's my presentation. Are there any questions?
How do you compare the farms to, are they the same size?
No, so when I joined this project, that was kind of taken care of for me, but it's just the fields have the same soil series.
Oh, okay.
So I should have clarified that better. So just to make sure that, that the comparisons are coming from the same textures of soil.
Same soil, but different crops.
Right, and to make sure that that my samples are coming from same textures and same soil series, I use the Soil Web Surveys application. So before I even take my samples, I'm in the field checking to make sure that the same series is used at the conventional farm and at the soil farm.
So are you doing a comparison of like a farm who implements 0 of the 5
Yes.
strategies
So
versus 5 of 5?
farm, a conventional farm, they haven't implemented any of those principles. Maybe, yeah.
So like if a farm wanted to, like take a first step into, more soil health practices, how would they decide which of the 5 might be a good first step? Or is it kind of like, because I know you're comparing kind of like all of them versus 0 of
That's
them.
a very complex question. You have to take into account like the textures of the soil and the crops that you plant, and it's like a holistic approach. I would say like the first step would be like cover cropping and maybe minimalizing your tills. So thinking about disturbing the soil class. Those are the first two. I don't know, Anna, correct me if I'm- but from the research I come up with those are the-
If nothing else, we can move on into Hezusena. And there will be more time at the end for more